Hi, I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Toretko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Tennis fans, we've returned, and we had mass controversy yesterday out on court, and it's what you're probably clicking on the video to hear us talk about, which was the big news. Denis Shapovalov goes out, but in very, very controversial circumstances due to this dodgy umpire line call, which, as we know now, was incorrect.
Yeah, well, was it incorrect? There's a lot of debates to talk about on this podcast. I think it's a good place to start, obviously, with the Shapovalov match.
Definitely.
Obviously, that was your dark horse to win the tournament, so he's out. I'm pretty sure my one's out as well, right? Is Ruud out yet?
He's this morning. He went out, unfortunately. Yep. He went out fighting, but after that first set, and yet another case, which I'm going to bring up and talk about in this match, the same thing happened again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, should we just speak briefly, about this Shapovalov match, though? Because, it went 5 sets there to Roberto Caballes-Baena. And I think everybody was probably a little bit surprised that Caballes-Baena was able to take him all the way, really, in this one. I mean, I was.
Yeah, for sure. Shapovalov, mate, he's the better player of the two. That first set was huge, and he wasn't able to take it. But let's talk about the big controversy, because it happened in the 5th set, a very crucial moment in the match. He's 30-15 up. I believe it was it 6-5?
It was. He was.
It's the thumbnail of the thing, the video, literally.
Yeah, mate. I know, but yeah, he was 30-15. He was on his serve. He was in essence, he was serving for the match, and he was 30-15 up. 5-4. Yeah. Sorry, because he was serving for the match twice, but we'll get onto that. So he's 5-4, 7 for the match, 30-15, and there's a dubious decision where he feels the ball was out. The umpire's gone, check the mark, come off his chair, check the mark, and he's deemed the ball to be in. And Shapovalov is fuming with it, quite evidently. As we know, there's no Hawkeye. They don't implement that at all at the French Open, and they rely purely on just looking at the ball mark, which a lot of people will say it works. It's effective. You can clearly see the mark. But in this situation, what mark was they looking at? Was they looking at a different mark? Yeah.
Or was they unable to identify that specific mark? Because it's very tricky, isn't it?
And this is the same thing that happened today as well, except for today's one, he was pointing at a completely different mark altogether. And Ruud is, and the same as Shapovalov said yesterday, I've been playing tennis for 15 years. I think I know where the ball hit, and I can mark it, and I can tell you where it went. Like, I'm not calling it out for no reason. These players aren't trying to get one over on anyone. They're fair sportsmen, majority
let's look at it. So say if that ball was actually called out, it would have been 40-15, then he was served. Then he's got 2 match points. From that moment on, he looked like there's a good chance he can win it. It's not obviously a certainty, but you'd expect him then to... It's just not fair, is it? Because he would have had the 2 match points, and that would have been that. He's hit out on Twitter. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Very unhappy about it. He's posted a picture of the Hawkeye decision. And it's terrible, really. I feel really sorry for him, because in essence, the thing is, it's hard to say, because then he has not done himself any favours, really. I know some people in the comments are saying that John is specifically saying Shapovalov made 109 unforced errors at the net. No, at the end. No. At the end, a new record. That's ridiculous. Like, he doesn't help himself. And then after that, he's managed to break back anyway, and then serve out for the match again, and he was unable to do it. So he's clearly got a bit of a problem ending matches. But in theory, you'd hope that the line calls and everything else was in your favour. Well, not even in your favour, just fair.
Well, my personal opinion on this whole thing is Hawkeye. I know that we've got John there in the comments. He's just saying that, it cannot be used yet because it's inaccurate due to the uneven surface. And then they're
looking into this real bounce to see if you could, because this is one of the other alternatives, isn't it? That we had at one of the other tournaments. I can't remember which one it was where they trialed it, and it seemed to work pretty well. But that was obviously hard court. This one, I don't know, but I just get the feeling if you were to use Hawkeye and not rely on the umpire, players are going to be a lot happier. There's going to be a lot less disagreement. They're going to trust the technology, whereas they do not trust umpiring, especially with decisions like this. And there's a second one today. It happened to Casper Ruud, but a very pivotal point in the second set.
Yeah, but there's something we need to understand, and because I've done a bit of research before this podcast, and the reason they don't use Hawkeye on clay is because the clay moves.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always stay the same. So after every single match, in theory, what they would have to do is then recalibrate the cameras to then use the technology for the following match, because apparently everything's going to be moving around. I don't understand all the science behind it all, but that's just the way it works. And to do that, it would take 20 minutes before each match. So that's not feasible at the moment, is it? You don't want to have that extra additional time delay. We want we want matches to be going on. We don't want any disruption in the matches. And then you've got the other argument with the fact that it's never really going to be truly accurate. Like it can't predict the bounce of the ball on clay. It's been proven it can't. So what you're going to have then, you're going to have Hawkeye decisions calling balls in or out. And then the players, I know you're saying they're not going to argue it because they're going to just trust technology. But trust me, if a decision goes against them and they feel that it's unjust, you're going to have them then looking at the maul mark saying, that's out. And then Hawkeye's going to be saying a different thing and saying it's in. So you're going to always have this controversy. So that's why it is a very tricky discussion to say, do you think Hawkeye should be implemented or not?
I think that technology will catch up. We know how quickly things move in this day and age. So I think that eventually it's not going to be long. We're talking maybe a couple of years until some sort of amazing technology is invented to be able to deal with it. And it has to be, in my mind, because I think we're very close to getting to the stage now where Grand Slams are contested with no line judges and just an umpire, really. And I think it should be that way. And I don't want to put anyone out of a job, but if it's... Think about this. Denis Shapovalov.
Yeah, but Robbo, you're missing the human side of this. Big time. Look at them ball boys at Wimbledon. We know what it's like. Imagine being a ball boy growing up being... not the ball boys. Just the line judges.
Just the line judges.
I thought you meant just have an umpire.
No, you can have an umpire and ball boys, but then all these line judges, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, Denis Shapovalov has gone out of this competition. If he'd have gone through to the next round, might have even progressed even further. Each round that they go through, this could cost him like $40,000, $50,000 each time it goes through. This is his actual earnings, his like career prize money you're talking about, and you're sort of taking it out of his own hands. It's not fair. And like an umpire could potentially, he was 1 point away, he might have served it out. If there hadn't been the big controversy got on his head, he might have been $50,000 richer or euros richer right now. So it's a big thing, and that can get in your head, and it might put players off wanting to play on clay as well, because they're like, well, I can't trust the decisions. So I mean, I'm totally for the use of technology, and obviously they can't have it in the really small competitions, but definitely in Grand Slams. I think you just got to use everything that you've got with your ability to be able to predict or get the calls right. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. It's a sticky subject, but
yeah. But actually, related to this game, if I looked at the decision again, I do think the ball was out. Like, obviously, the Hawkeye confirmed that. People are saying, "Oh, how can you see that that's accurate?" But it was quite a distance. It was showing that it was out. It wasn't like a marginal error. And I think that's huge, because I do feel like, obviously, it's a huge statement to make. I think he would have won that match if that decision would have gone in his favour.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us on the live podcast here today. We got Dylan there in the comments saying, keep up the awesome podcast. Thanks. Really appreciate that. He's a good friend of the podcast. And a few other people in there. We got Joel back in there again, and Melez back in again as well, and a couple of other new people, which is great. Keep throwing in your questions. And we'll just do our best to answer them going through. Going through the poll. Go on. Sorry.
On that match, just finish off with that. What do you make of Boehner?
What of Tobias Boehner?
Yeah.
I think he played out of his skin to be able to get past Shapovalov. So watching the match, I think he can't take it away from him. He actually played really well. Probably the best tennis I've seen him play, especially at a Grand Slam. And you've got to watch out for these Spaniards on the clay. And he was hitting some amazing shots as well, though. You can't like some amazing passing shots. Shapovalov was trying to rush the net, and he was getting passed like by matter of inches, like than just getting inside the lines and stuff. So you've got to give him some credit. And I don't know if he's going to go any further in the competition, but we see who he's got next. It's Grigor Dimitrov. So I'm not really fancying him in that match. He's just been to 5 with Shapovalov. So but he's done well. He's obviously.
I think it's going to be quite close. We know with Dimitrov, he can have an off day quite easily.
He can.
But I think Dimitrov this tournament, he's been playing really good. So you'd expect him to be a clear favourite there. Obviously, we'll get straight onto that with Andres Martin. He was able to comfortably beat him there in 3 sets.
Too easy. What about this one? I just wanted to. Well, the surprise package of the French Open so far, isn't it?
Well, he's unseeded. Kevin Anderson, unseeded, mate. That's a dangerous proposition. We know he's got Grand Slam experience. We know he's such a big hitter of the ball. He's got a fantastic serve. Overall game is actually pretty fantastic. He's just been hampered with a lot of injuries of late and not been playing so much tennis, and people are kind of writing him off on the basis of that. But that's not wise. Trust me, that seriously is not wise.
No, you cannot. Never write him off.
Well, he's been a huge underdog in every match. I don't understand. Like, the bookies clearly don't rate him at all. Like, do they not realise how good Kevin Anderson can be?
I bet he's not a big fan in Serbia right now. He's taken out 2 Serbians in a row in the last 2 rounds. So he's up against a tough match next, though. And Andrei Rublev. Well, he went through in 4 sets against Davidovich Fokina, as we know. And that's a really impressive win, really. And he did it with style points, I think, because he was looking dodgy in that first set, and he turned it around and managed to come back to win it. And go on. Yeah.
No, I think this tie is actually really exciting. The reason is Rublev, we've known historically to struggle against them big hitting players like a Berrettini, even Medvedev to some extent. I think Medvedev may be a little bit more tactical and resilient than the others, but I think Anderson's that type of player as well, and he could cause Rublev a lot of issues.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's got the big serve, and he's been backing it up this tournament with some amazing ground shots as well. I think the conditions are really suiting his game. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting, that one. I'm really looking forward to seeing if Big Kev can go through again, or is it going to be Andrei Rublev? He's obviously on a bit of a run at the moment. Won in Hamburg, and now making a good run at the French. So, exciting stuff. What other ones did we have yesterday? Did we have? Oh, we had Stefanos.
Yeah.
This is the real Stefanos turning up now. Tsitsipas smashed out Pablo Cuevas there, and easy. And that's all I've got to say about that. Easy.
Did you know Tsitsipas he's come out and said that Cuevas was like a role model for him growing up. Like, he used to watch his tennis and think, oh, this guy's quality. Like, he's someone I want to play like. And he's based a lot of his game off Cuevas, which I find quite fascinating.
Well, he's a very attractive, style of play that he plays. And you can see the similarities, now you say it, when you see them both on court. I was watching the match yesterday, and they both got this sort of very stylish backhands, and just there's just a elegance to each of their game, which he obviously has incorporated into his maybe a slightly more successful match play. But easy win for him there. I think it was a battle of the old versus the new, and I just thought he just made it look too easy, and that's the sort of Tsitsipas. And Cuevas is good. It's not like he's bad player. Tsitsipas made it look like he was 200 in the world or something. It was very easy day at the office.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. And just looking at the draw there, he's got Bedeni in the next round. I don't want to be too disrespectful on Bedeni, but he's someone like you do never know with him, but you'd expect Tsitsipas. I feel like that's an easier maybe match than the Cuevas one. Or is that harsh? I don't know. I'm not sure what Bedeni's like on clay.
Yeah, I would have said so as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we were saying, well, we've got some matches that are playing right now, as it's showing here.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Gaston love in the comments. I hear Gaston's up 5-3. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do a live watch along for that, Melez. We've got a lot of work on today. We're both accountants, and it's the end of the month, so everything's a bit intensified. But hopefully, we'll try and do a live watch along on the weekend.
Yeah. So this one here, which was obviously Stan Wawrinka, who's playing at the moment, and I can just bring.
I think you might need to get flash scores up. Doesn't have it on it, does it?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think. I just tried to refresh.
Oh yeah, it does. That's
there
cool.
You go. So Gaston's taken the second set against Wawrinka, and
huge,
super interesting. I mean,
Gaston's another young player as well. He's a young French player. We've watched him a lot on the challengers. We've always fancied him actually in a lot of matches. He's not quite won many finals or semi-finals, but
no.
It looks like he's doing it on the big stage against Stan Wawrinka of all people.
He's probably got those French. It always helps, doesn't it? Like you never underestimate how the home crowd, because apparently there's 1,000 people are allowed into the stadium as well today.
Yeah.
So that's still quite a lot of people, and you can actually hear the vocal of people in there cheering people on, and I think it's really helping players. And especially the French people. We had Herbert, who did really well against Zverev the other day, and I think it's helping Gaston as well. And Gaston is 200.
Have you explained the Italians?
Well, yeah, they're probably going to go
a record.
Journey.
You know, it's a record in the Open era. The amount of Italians in the latter stage of a slam.
5.
Is it 6? I thought it was 6.
No, it's 5 in the round of 32, and the previous best before that was actually only 3. Which is pretty crazy. So they've nearly doubled their tally there, which is really impressive and great for if you're an Italian as well.
Yeah. And just sorry, I went off topic of the Wawrinka Gaston match there. Jackie's come in and said he's a young French player with lots of talent.
Well, yeah,
clearly a big fan of Gaston.
I mean, with Gaston. Let me just check to see his age. Yeah, only 20 years old there. So, really promising. I moved over to the women's there for a second. I just wanted to touch on this morning. We had, obviously, Dominic Thiem was playing against Casper Ruud. Let me see.
Yeah, that's a really good match. Let's talk about this one.
If we just have it here. And Dominic Thiem never fails to disappoint, does he, on the clay? I watched the whole match and I was sort of blown away by him. He wasn't playing well. Casper Ruud.
I was going to say the same thing. That first set, he was not playing well at all. His serving wasn't very good, and managed just to find a way. And that's what champions do, man. This is the effect of him winning the US Open. I feel.
I hope so. I mean, it was just so promising to see someone who has just so much ability like Dominic Thiem. We know how good he is at Roland Garros as well. It was just incredible. He was obviously, he was doing his same thing again. Love 15, Dominic Thiem came out again in this match, and the running theme of that kept on going. But by the time he got to that, he had that dodgy call with Casper Ruud at the beginning of the second set. It was in the first game of the second set. He had this dodgy call. It was at deuce. And he went on to win the next point, so he would have had advantage. Instead, he had break point against him in the first.
Yeah,
so
he can't do that.
He was instantly mentally gone in the second set, and I don't think it would have helped him anyway. But Dominic Thiem just took over from the first game of the second set, and then it was a little bit defeated. He was arguing with the umpire, and the ball was out again, and the umpire came over, was pointing at the wrong spot. He said, "Look, I've marked it for you. That's not that one. It's this one." And then they confirmed it on Hawkeye again. So I don't know whether you actually confirmed. But anyway, don't take away. Dominic Thiem, amazing. I just got a lot to just go on about just for a second, just to have a look at Dominic Thiem and his body of work. Bear in mind, Dominic Thiem, his draw for this competition is horrendous, and it's the worst one I've ever. And you got Rafa and Djokovic; they're just loving it. They're just brushing aside like these nobodies, but they're not nobodies. I'm doing a disrespect.
Oh, that's a low one now.
They're brushing aside people who team would love to play. Let's say, look who Dominic Thiem's had: Marin Cilic, US Open champion; Jack Sock, former top 10, who's taken sets off Rafael Nadal at the French Open before; Casper Ruud, he won in Buenos Aires. He got to the final in Santiago, and he's been a semi-finalist in Rome and Hamburg on clay this year. If Stan Wawrinka gets through, he's going to be playing a former French Open champion in the next round.
But even if Stan doesn't get through and he plays against Gaston, he's going to be playing an informed Gaston who's just knocked out Stan Wawrinka, who's 20 years old, a hometown player in the form of his career. And by the look of the comments, there's a lot of love for Gaston. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch on the highlights after this.
Yeah. And if he gets through that, then you've got potentially the guy who beat Rafael Nadal in the Masters a week ago, Diego Schwartzman. And then if you get past him, you've got multiple-time French Open champion Rafael Nadal. And if that's not enough, then you might face world number 1 and potential greatest of all time, Novak Djokovic.
Mate, my biggest fear is Dominic Thiem managing to beat all of these players you're talking about, gets to the final, and is just completely just exhausted. You just see him like basically sleeping on the court, which could quite well happen. I feel like his draw is that tough. It quite well could happen for sure. But the thing is with Dominic Thiem, we know how many matches this guy can play. He's probably got the best fitness and stamina on the whole tour. He's a young guy. I say young, I think he's like 27, 28. So he's got a lot of energy to give and a lot of fight and passion. And I think that US Open is going to give him the confidence he needs. So if anyone can do it, Dominic Thiem can, I feel.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I think he said that he feels the fatigue from the US Open as well, and he's feeling it a little bit. So he's acknowledging it. People keep asking him about it, and he is saying, yeah, I feel the fatigue, and it's only going to get worse during the competition. But he said the one thing that's keeping him going is the fact this is the French Open, and he just wants that French Open Grand Slam. He's been to the last 2 finals there, wants to get there and finally win it. And if he's going to win it, he's going to have to beat the who's who of clay court tennis to do it. And wouldn't it be incredible if he does? I wouldn't put it past him. Like the way he's in, or the form he's in, he's probably the most informed person on the tour, really. If
Djokovic is the clear one, but without him, you'd say Dominic Thiem.
Yeah, without him, you'd say Dominic Thiem.
Just a few words on Casper Ruud quickly. I just want to say, incredible from him. Young guy coming through, and he's played a lot of matches recently. He's really impressed. I think Melez has sort of summed it up quite nicely, really, just saying how Ruud's worn down in the end. And I think I would agree with that personally. I think he's played a lot of matches. It's not always the quantity of matches. Sometimes it's the level of players he's been playing against. He's had some big draws in Rome. I think he beat Berrettini. He then played, obviously, Novak Djokovic, where he went out. But these sort of players, they will mentally and physically sort of grind you down. And he's had a good run here as well, obviously, coming through 5 sets against Tommy Paul. And I think now he needs a good rest, 2 weeks off. And then hopefully we'll see him very soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a bright prospect. I think he's only 21 years old as well. So
he's got a bright future in the game, man.
So much. I mean, the sky's the limit. And this is, some people were probably saying he was maybe in the top 8 people you'd expect to maybe win this tournament, like out of all the people, really, because of his form on clay this year. And look what Dominic Thiem's gone and done to him. Sent him packing, and that's just the level. The levels in tennis right now, and Dominic Thiem is well and truly, he's one of the big 4 now, and he's a challenger in every Grand Slam now, and you want to be worried. Yeah, if you're coming up against him next, and who's it going to be? He's had a very relatively easy route through there, and now if Stam goes to 5 or something, you'd fancy Thiem again.
Yeah.
So, well,
I agree. Yeah.
If we just, I just wanted to just move over. There's a game playing right now that I know that we were talking about a lot yesterday, which I'll just flick it into here so that we can see it. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see
it's
it.
This one here.
Yeah,
Sebastian Korda, and what a performance this is. You know how good Pedro Martinez is, and Seb Korda's looks like he's going to take him out in straight sets.
That's really good, man. And you've been, to be fair, I've not been listening to you enough. I think I know he's been bigging up this Korda guy the whole way for a while now, and I've not really had a chance to watch many of his matches before. But this is a really impressive one. This is going to get a lot of people watching him and worried about him. To be fair, you would not want to play him in the form he's playing in because Pedro Martinez, bearing in mind, I don't think he's not lost many games at all so far, and he's not dropping any games. And here he's just being it's demolition job really.
Well, it's so crazy. And then I was just looking into obviously Seb Korda himself, and I wasn't even aware. I don't know why. I didn't put the link together in my mind, but I only found out that his dad, Petra Korda, was actually a French Open finalist. He lost to Jim Courier in 1992, and he was an Australian Open champion as well in 1998. So he comes from high stock, Seb Korda. So this shouldn't really be that much of a surprise. He's coming from a Grand Slam champion.
He's still got to do it though. It's different your dad doing it and you going out and doing it. So
definitely
let's give him credit there. Well, Casper Ruud sort of surpassed his dad, I feel already.
He has, yeah, I know. So that's what I mean. It's always interesting. You see these fathers been playing and then the son's been playing. So that's quite an interesting one, though, I thought. And Seb Korda, it'd be interesting to see. I'll just have a quick look to see who he would have in the next round should he go through. Well, it looks like it'll have to take a mammoth comeback if he doesn't manage. Oh, I go down to the bottom of the draw. Apologies. I'm just giving everyone the runaround. Yeah, here we go. So, God. The next round. Potentially Rafael Nadal, you'd think, out of that match. Travaglia's had a good tournament. Let's just put it that way. I don't know if he'll be going through. I think Dominic Thiem will probably be saying, how come I got Casper Ruud and you get Stefano Travaglia?
Mate, put some respect on Travaglia.
He's very good, but more.
But even still, Nadal, I don't give him a chance. Even saying all of that, he doesn't. I just don't see it. And then obviously potentially it looks like right now we're going to be seeing a Korda Nadal. That's going to be really good for Korda, I think, because I always feel like when you're playing some really top tennis and you're in some good form, the best thing you can do is and then maybe play one of the best in the world, because it enables you to sort of see where your game's actually at. There's no good beating players who you're comfortably beating. Obviously, you wouldn't expect him to be beating a lot of the people he has done, but I think Rafael Nadal now will be a really good way for him to sort of improve his game and implement some new shots and techniques, really, because clearly he's a top player, but then playing the best, the ultimate best, is only going to make you a lot better. So this is going to be a great opportunity for Korda, regardless of the result.
Oh, for sure. And he can just held his head high. Sorry, get my words out. And well, I think we should just go up to the other top side of the draw where, well, Galan Riveros has got a tough match next, but I don't think it's going to be an easy one for Djokovic either, because Galan Riveros, he obviously dispatched Tennis Sangren, well, with style points. Straight sets. That was pretty impressive. Yeah,
the thing with me, though, is there's levels to this game in tennis, man. And if you're looking at Galan, who he's beat, who is it just there? You beat Sangren and Cam Norrie, I believe. They're good players, but come on, Novak Djokovic is in a world of his own. I don't see Galan troubling them at all, as much as he's had a great tournament. It's on clay courts, mate. It's on Sangren on clay courts is a different proposition. Sangren's a brilliant player, but he's on clay courts is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is sort of, it sort of looks like the end of the road for Galan Riveros, but at least let's see if he can give Djokovic a bit of a game anyway. It would be nice to see Djokovic get a little bit tested. He doesn't seem like he's got out of second gear yet, so it'd be nice to see. When people start testing him, you start seeing the real Djokovic turning up, and you get to see some.
The problem is, this is a good match for Djokovic to sort of get warmed up and sort of take his game to the next level. Because that's what happens with him. He always starts off a bit slow, and then as each round progresses, progresses, he gets better and better. And then by the time he gets to the final, he's usually in some God mode and no one knows what to do.
Definitely is. And in this next fixture, that's a real interesting one.
Mate, I see that as a total 50-50 match. Garin, Khachanov. I think Garin's a better clay court player. I think Khachanov generally is a better player. Very difficult to decide between the two. For me, it's a complete toss-up. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be a 5-setter and then just decided in the 5th, to be honest.
Oh, that'd be pretty epic. Well, the winner will have potentially Novak Djokovic. So you want to keep it as short as possible, I think. This one, these two are two amazing matches. The next round is epic.
And I saw in the comments someone put there's 5 Spanish players here as well. We're not ignoring the Spanish guys. I think it was Joaquim. 5 Spanish too, as always. Literally on clay, you kind of expect it. Spanish, they've always been known to be, arguably the best clay court players in the world.
Yeah.
Up there with like Argentina as well. I feel like that's a very good nation for clay court players.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, but the Italians are rocking it, mate. And it was 6, because I was including the women's as well. You've got one from the women's.
We'll get on to them. We'll get on to them after. But Batista Agut, Carreño Busta. Which way do you see that going?
I see a Agut winning it. I've been super impressed with him. Yeah, I think he looks good, man. Who's he beating in the previous round? I forget now.
Attila Balazs.
Attila Balazs. And the round before it was Quetfa.
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I just think look how he beat Attila Balazs.
I know.
I think Attila in that first set, he was 3-1 up as well. I was thinking, what's going on here? Attila, he's doing it, mate. I can't believe it's happening. And then he just crumbled. It was too good.
I know. Guido Pella's no schmuck, though, on the clay, and he took him out.
I just personally think, obviously, you could say whoever Djokovic plays out of them two is going to be fearing, right? Because that'll be Djokovic's, is it potential quarterfinal, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's a quarterfinal match against either of them two, potentially. Obviously, there's a lot of other players there. And them two are the ones he's probably most fearful of. Obviously, Buster's the one who beat him in US Open. You say beat him. He was the man what made him rage and hit a line charge.
If we get a rematch of that, that'd be classic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then Agut, obviously, we've seen what he's done to Djokovic. He's been so close recently to beating Djokovic. It was just a few moments of pure excellence from Novak, really, to sort of suppress him.
Well, I'm sort of going towards Carreño Busta to win this one. I don't know why. There's just something about him, I think people aren't giving him the credit he deserves. He got to the semis of the US Open. I just think he's been going through in style in this tournament so far and hasn't really, I don't know if he's even dropped a set yet. But he's looking very, very impressive. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes through this one. And not going to be an easy one, even if he goes through that, because then you've got this amazing matchup. And this is a great, like we were just saying on the other one with Korda, and you've got to test yourself against the best. Well, Altmaier testing himself against Matteo Berrettini. This is a real test to see how good you are.
Yeah.
Look how good Berrettini has been this tournament so far.
Yeah, I think his net play has really impressed me so far. It's just his hands. He's got some of the best hands on tour. He's quite a big guy as well, but he's a top player, and I think Berrettini will win that.
We should do. But it'd be interesting to see if we get one of these relatively unknown players going through to the next round. There's quite a few people who could be making it through to the next round who you might not have seen. Like especially Big Kev there, he might be able to get through another round too. But should we move on?
Have we gone through all the matches? I think so. From yesterday.
I think
we did. Did we?
Did we have Djokovic? Was he one of them?
We've missed quite a few, I believe. Obviously, there's Djokovic there. Well, I don't think there's even much to say about the Brankis one. It was done in, an hour and 30 minutes or something? It was just a complete, obliteration, really. Khachanov beat Vesely. We didn't touch on that, but there's not really much to talk about. I think I'm quite happy with all of them, to be fair.
Yeah, I think we touched on most of some of them in yesterday's were playing, weren't they, when we were doing so.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so we move on to the women's, and look what happened yesterday. What did we say? Fiona Ferro going through against Rybakina.
Wait. I thought I said that. I'm pretty sure you said Rybakina.
No, I said Ferro, mate.
I don't know. I'm going to have to watch the podcast back from yesterday. I'm pretty confident you fancied Rybakina.
No, why did I bring up the stats, mate? That's why I brought them all up.
I'm going to have to check that one.
I said it's going to be hard to go against Fiona Ferro in her form.
Oh, yeah. You might have said that, to be fair.
The one that I got completely wrong was Pliskova. I said beat Muguruza. And what happened? She lost in terrible fashion. And both the Pliskovas go out and have to go and look in the mirror and try and work out what's going on.
Yeah,
go and console each other.
I feel like on the women's draw, the main one is obviously Halep. Joel's just confirmed now. She's just won her match. And I don't see anyone stopping her. I don't even think a Fiona Ferro in the form she's in can stop her. She's just she's just a level above a lot of the other players, in my opinion. Like, they can be playing their best tennis, but she's just better than them.
Yeah.
Is that harsh? I don't know.
No, it's not harsh. It's just true. And this is the crazy thing. The result today for Simona Halep was 6-love, 6-1 against Anisimova, who in the last round, she bageled somebody else. And can you believe the last time these two actually played was at last year's French Open, and Anisimova beat Halep. So what's happened in a year? She's now gone to a breadstick and a bagel. So I'm not sure what's happened there. Like, the Halep, when she shows up, she shows up. And Anisimova, well, I'm not sure what happened there. That's just poor. Like, you can't go out a breadstick and a bagel.
Yeah. So which one are you looking at?
Sorry, I haven't got it on here. Well, I think I might need to update it. It's going to be right at the top. Here we go. Just let me refresh.
You were saying it, and I was wondering what you were talking about.
No, I was just talking about it just while it was fresh in my head. So yeah, look, you can see it there.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Bagel. This other one down here, we said it would be the end of Bouchard, and it was the end of Bouchard.
Yep.
Swiatek. But that was an amazing performance.
Well, she's been doing it consecutively now in the Slam. She got to the fourth round of the Australian Open. She's done, I forget the other ones now, but she's had some brilliant results in the Slams for a young girl as well.
Yeah.
One to watch.
And do you know, in that match, 30 winners she hit, which is, that's amazing. Like,
yeah, and I think it was, 15 unforced errors, if I'm not mistaken, I believe.
I think you might be right there as well. Yeah, it was just a masterclass, really. And Bouchard, who we know is sort of on the comeback, she got the wild card into the event. Yeah, she just blew her out of the water. And let me just check. Yeah, 15 unforced errors, 30 winners. So
yeah. And Jackie says about Halep here, Halep is so quick around the damp, heavy clay court, can't get by her. That's how it is, man. Like, she's just in the world of her own. Joel fancies a Halep Kenin would be an awesome final. I don't think so. I'm not really struck on Kenin on clay. I think she struggled through her last match. She's not been super impressive. I'd be I don't know. We'll have a look. I'll tell you who I'd prefer to see her play against in the final. And
can we just bring up Joel confirming there that I definitely did say Ferro was going to beat Rybakina.
Mate, I'll put it on the screen for you.
Thanks, Joel, just for confirming that. Just don't want any disagreements here. But yeah, down in the bottom half of the draw for the women's, well, she went. Ostapenko's probably that one down the bottom who's looking pretty dangerous. And then Kvitova, obviously, she's another one in that other side of the draw. But
can you just move the screen along a little?
Yeah, just bear with me 1 sec. I've just got another window open.
I can remove it, I think. That's probably the best way. Then you add it again.
Yeah, that sounds like an easier. And then I can just bring up the actual... I'll bring the drawer up on here. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, just get rid of that one. And then I'll bring up another one. Okay. Right, where is the drawer? I believe it's this one. Okay. Is that bringing up the right drawer?
It's got the drawer up, but I can't quite see it. It's too small.
I'm not sure if that's the right one. Is that the... here we go. Sorry about this. Right, here. Okay, so we can see, hopefully this is updated. Yes. Right, so we got Halep at the top there against Swiatek. That's going to be a really exciting matchup. and then we go all the way down. So I just wanted to show you the bottom half of the draw. Sorry if this is going to make you feel dizzy. So we had Ostapenko. So I'll zoom in a bit more for the people who it's going to be harder to see. Ostapenko against Badoza next round. That's going to be quite an interesting matchup. And don't forget, Badoza knocked out Sloane Stephens.
I think Badoza's, I don't know, it's hard to say. Obviously, Ostapenko, she's won the French Open before.
It's difficult to see.
And when she's on, she's really good. Like, she hits a lot of, she's a bit like a Shapovalov, I feel, of the women's tour. In terms of she'll hit a lot of unforced errors, but also a lot of winners as well. And it sort of counteracts each other. But some days she'll hit a lot more unforced errors than the winners. So that's when she's in trouble. And hopefully she doesn't have one of them days, because Badoza will walk it, I think, because she's quite a consistent player.
Definitely. We've got Petra Martic there against Laura Sigmund. That could be quite interesting. Not sure how that one will go. Martic, when she turns up, she's really good. But when she first came back, she wasn't impressing me at all.
Yeah, I don't know, really, myself. I think maybe Siegmund could win.
Yeah, possible.
Borrell, that's what I wanted to talk about. The 17-year-old French girl.
That's it, mate. The French going through again. These young French players, I seem to be like relishing the chance, don't they?
Mate, what a result there against Kajajuva. No one really thought she would be able to do that, and that is amazing. Hometown slam, to be doing that is, mate, that's a brilliant achievement. To be doing that at this young age already. She's only going to get better. And Zhang's someone you'd think is potentially beatable. We know Zhang can be actually one of the top players on the women's tour and very tricky customer, but you never know. Burrell on the women's tour, there's a lot of upsets, and Burrell could quite easily provide one here.
Yeah, Burrell, 19 years old, which is just amazing. French number 415 in the world, which is pretty crazy that she's got this far so far. Credit to her.
And I'm hearing right now that play's been suspended in France, which is a bit frustrating. Doesn't look good for Gaston.
That's a frustrating one, especially if you're in the flow of things.
But saying that, it could be a blessing in disguise, because usually Stan Wawrinka's quite slow to get going in matches. Maybe if you have a little break, it could take him a while to get back up to speed. But based off that first set, he didn't look like he had many problems.
No, yeah, very true, yeah. And who else has been suspended as well? We've got Fritz and Sonego's suspended, and that's one set all now. Sorry,
really?
Two sets to love. Sorry.
I was going to say.
I read the
Sonego was smashing it.
Sorry,
apologies. Fritz is struggling big time. He's not doing great at all.
It's not really a clay quarter though, is he?
No.
I mean, the other ones I was just going to look up on that draw anyway. We had Kvitova versus Leila Fernandez, which is up in the next round, which is a real exciting matchup.
Mate, we could see a Kvitova Halep final. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
They're both experienced players.
All just depends how this one does. I think Ostapenko could really cause everyone problems in this tournament if she continues the way she is. And I don't know.
Fiona Ferro. I think Fiona Ferro maybe is a better prospect than Kenin right now.
Look who she's up against next, though. The Tig. The Tig. Can she beat the Tig? I think she probably can.
I think she can as well. And I think it probably would set up a Kenin Ferro matchup, which I think Ferro will win.
I think so as well. But we're quick to write off Sophia Kenin on clay. So.
Muguruza there as well. Come on, we can't forget her.
Ons Jabeur, Sabalenka. There's other people in there that we're forgetting about. It's not a foregone conclusion by any. And Peronkova. We haven't even spoken about her. She's still like there in the draw. She could sneak through again. And well, you saw today, Podoroska. She's gone through again. And this is against this amazing run of form that she's been on at the moment. And she how many matches has she won in a row now? Let me just have a quick check. Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think it's about 11 matches straight now she's won. And don't forget, Shmedlova took out Azarenka in straight sets. So this is an amazing scalp for Podoroska. And you wouldn't want to be playing her next. So Peronkova or Krejcikova? Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be a tough one for either of them. I would expect Podoroska to be maybe going through that one.
I want to see a Peronkova Podoroska, but then Podoroska will probably win.
Battle of the Peas. And Svitolina, yeah, she went through earlier and in easy style, really. I think she just did just enough.
Hey, she's already there. It looks like she's in the final by herself.
That's it. And she might have Garcia or Mertens next.
Mertens has got to be.
Got to be Mertens, isn't it? You'd think. And, well, yeah, some exciting stuff anyway on the women's side of things. You just don't know you can't call it, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Halep, but if she didn't win it, who would you pick out of the rest? It's like a mixed bag, isn't it?
Keep saying, I feel like you've got Halep all the way up here, and then you've got maybe like 3 or 4 of them, like 2 or 3 levels below her. I don't want to be harsh. I just see it like that. I just think Halep's just too good against in these conditions as well. I think she's like a level above most of them other players right now.
It's fair. I totally agree. The only thing that might catch her out is just one of these possible unknown players which are on a storming run, like your Fiona Farrell, Podoroska, something like that. I think they're gonna be unknown entities to her, and they might be able to cause her problems just based upon being unknown. But I think all the other players she's probably played quite a few times before, probably knows their weaknesses and how to get it over the line.
I agree.
Exciting stuff though anyway.
Yeah, do you want to get up the men's matches that's going on right now? I know play's been suspended, but we'll just see. I'm more interested to see what's happening right now. We'll have a quick chat about that, and then we'll wrap it up for today.
Sure. 1 sec. I'll just pull up the live scores. Oh, no, it's not going to come up on the live. They've been suspended. Apologies.
That should still do on flash scores.
Nah,
I think it's still... That's annoying.
I just tried. So, yeah, this is what there is at the moment. Tell me if you need me to zoom more.
Yeah, just zoom slightly.
1 sec. I need to make my window a bit bigger. There you go. Oh, but then it moves all the scores away. There you go. What's going on?
So then we've got what's it? So later on we've got Correa, Sinner, Gombos, Schwartzman. What's down below that?
Well, sorry, apologies. Yeah, so we've got
Zverev, Cecchinato, then Travaglia, Nadal. Yeah, some really good matches. I think that Correa Sinner one's the one what stands out to me.
Which the most even, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's I can't really call it at all. Yeah.
I mean,
maybe Sinner's probably the more experienced of the two at the higher level. Would you not say?
Yeah.
Correa predominantly more of a challenger player, but Correa arguably better on clay. It's hard to call.
I'm in an iron about this one earlier when I was looking at it, and I was just thinking, first off, I just went straight in and I thought Correa. Then I was second guessed myself, and I thought, no, come on, Sinner's been on the bigger stage for longer, even though he's 18. And then I just had to decide it by going through and looking at their body of work as well. And Sinner, for me, has beaten the better players on the way. I mean, Correa beat Benoit Paire, but I don't think it's Benoit Paire that we all know and love. I don't think he's at his best yet. Sinner's beaten some actual... He took out Goffin in straight sets, don't forget. So I would think Sinner will win. I think Correa might take a set. That's my bet.
Fair enough. I think Correa's going to win. I think it'll be a 5-setter, and he's going to win in the 5th.
The big shout. You were trying to tire these young lads out.
And maybe Cecchinato later today could beat Zverev.
You never know with that one. You never know. We had a lot of people in the comments who was, saying that Cecchinato.
I know Jagger's not going to be happy. He's probably Zverev's biggest fan I've ever seen. He reckons it's going to be his first Grand Slam title, but not for me.
And Ian's correcting me saying Correa's 28 years old. All right, so he's not so young. But
Correa's not young. He's been around for a while.
He's young.
A lot of the time,
go on.
He's only got to the main stage later on in life, I feel.
Okay, so he's young on the ATP stage. So I think that's what more.
Well, you got the ATP challengers.
Yeah, but more on the ATP, like the
main draw.
Yeah, the main draw and the Grand Slams. He's relatively inexperienced. So this is where we're getting to see him. This is where it makes it interesting, though. You get players who are young who have come through and that's their time. It's like straight away. And you get players who are on the slow burn that suddenly come through in their peak later in their career. And it's great to see them clash at the same time because, I don't know, it just happens like that. He could be looking at Sinner and thinking, God, this guy's much more experienced than me. Which is so crazy when someone's 10 years younger than you. So
it is bizarre. I know what you mean. I just can't believe how young Sinner is and how good he is already. And it bodes the brilliant question. Like, obviously, there's a lot of talk like who's got the better generation coming through right now. You've got like young Italian players, you got Russian players, and Canadian players. I saw it as a comment earlier. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but for me, all three of them nations have really exciting players coming through. If I had to pick one, being biased, I would say Italian because I feel like I don't know. I just love the Italian players, but if you look at it, I would say the Russian players are probably the more I don't know. They're more advanced in terms of like they're higher in the ranking. They've sort of achieved a lot more younger years. You could say Serbian, yeah. They're another one, yeah. But with the Russian, I think you've got Khachanov, Medvedev, and what's his name? Hachanov, Medvedev, and Rublev. Yeah. Them three, and I think they are a bit. That's a formidable trio.
Yeah, for sure. Did you say Spanish or no?
Yeah, Spanish, obviously, but I'm not talking about Spanish because they're always there. It doesn't matter what year we're in, mate. It could be in the year 3000 and you'll have a bunch of great Spanish players.
It's true. There are some great ones that are sort of lurking in the shadows, waiting to try and break through. Like obviously Jamino Valero, he's another one that we were sort of following. He's in like the ITFs and stuff. But yeah, obviously Alcaraz Garcia. There's just a whole plethora of amazing Spanish talent always coming through.
It's funny, we talk about all these nations and then we talk about British players. And I think, who is that? Jack Draper, maybe?
Maybe. He's 18. He's up to 180 in the world. So just would be nice to actually hear what's going on with him. I haven't heard.
On the women's, who we got, like Burridge, would you say? Jodie Burridge.
Maybe.
No one really fills us with too much optimism, I must admit. I think we'll wrap it up there. We've been talking for far too long.
Yeah,
if you've not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the video, and we'll be bringing you another podcast tomorrow lunchtime. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.
Cheers.